During their press conference, Jant Tank Davis was spotted showing Frank Martin old sparring footage. Later, during a podcast interview, Tank took a dig at Frank Martin and revealed the truth behind their sparring.
See
The sparring, look, this
he
the
didn't
thing.
touch me up.
Did you touch me up?
First of all,
What was the sparring like?
First of all,
What was the sparring?
you were scared to get in the ring.
Frank Martin later shared his side of the story, revealing what was in the sparring video. Have a look at what he had to say.
What was he trying to break down?
Nothing. Some sparring that wasn't even nothing. He ain't even show nothing.
Yeah.
Both fighters are set to take on each other in their first professional bout on June 15th. But what's the truth behind their sparring footage? What did both fighters have to say? Stick around and watch as we find out in today's video. Gervonta Tank Davis and Frank Martin have been feuding recently ahead of Tank's highly anticipated return to the boxing ring in June. The tension between the two escalated when Tank smacked Martin during the latest press conference.
Once again, things heating up already for this main event in WBA Lightweight Championship of the World. Fighters, take your seats.
Tank was also spotted showing Martin their old sparring video, where Martin apparently endured a beating from the WBA lightweight champion. Davis confidently claimed that the footage portrays his superiority in the ring, saying that he touched up Martin, meaning he landed clean, effective shots at his opponent. The undefeated champion's demeanor was assured as he sought to intimidate Martin with the supposed evidence of his skill. He used the sparring video to position himself as the clear favorite, attempting to plant seeds of doubt in Martin's mind ahead of their impending fight. Frank Martin, however, remained undeterred. He categorically denied Davis's interpretation of events, insisting that his opponent had carefully selected a small portion of the sparring session to skew the narrative. Martin claimed he didn't touch me up, maintaining that David exaggerated the video's significance to bolster his own image. He emphasized that the sparring session was nothing more than a standard training exchange where nothing particularly noteworthy occurred from Martin's perspective. Davis is merely trying to hype himself up and undermine his opponent's confidence. Martin argued that sparring is primarily a tool for honing strategies and techniques, not a definitive measure of a boxer's abilities or potential outcomes in actual competition. He pointed out that the video was just a snapshot of their training, chosen by Davis to create a false narrative. Martin suggested that Davis aimed to create buzz and noise around the leaked clip. Knowing that the media and fans would latch onto any perceived by doing so, Davis could establish a psychological advantage over Martin before they even stepped into the ring. Despite the contentious video, Martin appeared steadfast and composed, and he reiterated his readiness to take on Davis in the ring, emphasizing that this sparse footage wouldn't affect his preparation or focus on the fight. Drawing near, both boxers continued to trade words, but Martin remains resolute in his belief that he's more than capable of dismantling Davis's psychological feat and proving himself as a top contending. The leaked sparring video, for all the controversy it has stirred, will ultimately serve as just another chapter in the intense rivalry between these two elite fighters. In another interview, Martin shared his thoughts on the heated press conference, noting that both of their energies were genuine and not manufactured. It wasn't faked or scripted, it was all natural, Martin remarked, hinting at the deep-seated rivalry between them. The animosity was palpable during their exchange, particularly at the end of the press conference when Davis attempted to show Martin the clip of their sparring session. Martin quickly brushed aside the sparring video debate, emphasizing that sparring is not a definitive indicator of fight outcomes. "We're fighting now, and this is where it really counts," Martin stated, underscoring his focus on the match rather than training footage. He argued that sparring is just practice where fighters can have good or bad days without it reflecting their actual skills. He reiterated that the true test would come on fight night, when everything is on the line. When asked if the heated atmosphere between them stemmed from gym encounters, Martin suggested that the friction arose because Davis recognizes the real challenge he faces and knows he's in there with something real. Martin suggested that Davis sensed his opponent's seriousness and commitment. Martin attributed their confrontation to their alpha personalities, which naturally clash when faced with competition. Regarding Davis's focus on his body weakness, as seen in Martin's previous fight against Artem Haru Yunan, Martin remained unfazed. He acknowledged that Davis and his team are judging him based on that performance but assured fans that he and his team have a game plan for everything and are confident in their preparation and the strategies they've developed. Martin conveyed his readiness to take on Davis and overcome any tactical challenges. Ultimately, Martin remains resolute in proving himself against Davis and is keen on shifting the conversation away from sparring controversies to the fight itself. For him, the June 15th matchup is an opportunity to demonstrate his worth and counter Davis's psychological, despite the latest sparring controversy between Tank and Frank Martin. Both fighters remain steadfast in their preparations for the highly anticipated bout. Davis, with a perfect 290 record, sees this fight as another opportunity to reinforce his dominance in the boxing world and continue his legacy as an undefeated champion. With 27 knockouts under his belt, he aims to maintain his impeccable track record while leveraging his explosive style and power to overwhelm Martin. On the other hand, Frank Martin, currently 180, sees the Davis fight as his opportunity to make a significant impact and establish himself among the sport's elite. Martin acknowledges Davis's reputation and the challenge that awaits, but remains undeterred. He emphasizes that Davis is in a spot where he wants to recognize the fight as a chance to elevate his career and validate his ambitions. Martin believes that a decisive victory over Davis would firmly cement his status as a top-tier contender. Paving the way for bigger fights in the future, the verbal sparring leading up to their matchup has only intensified their rivalry. Martin's confidence remains. Despite the psychological tactics Davis attempted by selectively leaking the sparring video, both boxers are focusing on their strategies, recognizing that the fight will require precise execution and mental resilience. Davis's experience and Martin's determination set the stage for an electrifying encounter, while the pre-fight controversy has fueled excitement among fans and amplified the stakes. The boxers are ultimately focused on winning the real battle in the ring. As the fight approaches, both are determined to stick to their game plans, knowing that one critical victory or defeat can shape their respective careers and legacies. The boxing world has also been sharing its thoughts and predictions for its fight. Former boxing pro Andrew Rozier recently shared his opinion and prediction on the matchup. Rozier, who has a close relationship with Davis, refers to him affectionately, as his nephew expressed his unwavering support for Davis in any bout, including this speculated fight against Martin. Rozier acknowledged Frank Martin's capabilities as a fighter, but emphasized the need for Martin to perform at an exceptionally high level to stand a chance against Davis. He likened the required performance to upgrading from a Hyundai to a Lexus or Genesis, indicating that only top-tier boxing would suffice against a fighter of Davis's caliber, despite his respect for Martin. Rozier expressed skepticism about Martin's ability to withstand the force and power of Davis, suggesting that Davis would ultimately emerge victorious if the fight were to happen. When discussing the role of sparring sessions in preparing for actual fights, Rozier downplayed the significance of rumors, suggesting Martin had previously gotten the better of Davis during sparring. He argued that sparring is primarily about working on one's craft and perfecting skills rather than a direct indicator of how a real fight would unfold. The dynamics of a competitive bout are vastly different from those in sparring, where fighters might not always be at their best or fully committed to winning as they would be in a sanctioned match. Rozier's prediction for the fight is rooted in his confidence in Davis's abilities and his belief in the importance of experience and power in the ring while acknowledging Martin's talent. Rozier's analysis suggests that Davis's experience, power, and ability to perform under pressure would give him the edge in a fight against Martin. Rozier's insights reflect his deep understanding of the sport and his close relationship with Davis, offering a unique perspective on a highly anticipated potential matchup in the lightweight division boxing influencer Showbiz. The adult also shared his opinion on this fight. Showbiz expressed enthusiasm for the fight, suggesting that Frank Martin is the perfect preparation for Davis before potentially facing Devin. The American Dream Haney highlighted the significance of this matchup, not just as another fight for Davis, but as a strategic step towards bigger challenges, particularly a fight against Han. Showbiz pointed out that Martin's fighting style, characterized by high IQ, great movement, and the ability to fight off his back foot, presents a unique challenge for Davis. He noted that Martin, not being a heavy puncher, relies more on his boxing skills and economy of punches, which could force Davis to adopt a more aggressive boxing approach to close the distance and engage effectively. Showbiz's analysis extends beyond the tactical matchup. He delves into the implications of the fight's outcome for Davis's future. He speculates on the importance of Davis getting accustomed to fighting at 140 ulfs, suggesting that a victory over Martin at this weight could serve as valuable preparation for a showdown with Haney or even Ryan Garcia, depending on the outcome of their anticipated bout throughout his commentary. Showbiz conveyed a sense of anticipation for the Davis versus Martin fight, emphasizing its potential to answer questions about Davis's ability to handle fighters with a style similar to Martin's. He expressed a keen interest in observing how Davis would adapt to Martin's slick, intelligent boxing and whether this fight could set the stage for Davis to face other top contenders in the lightweight division. The boxing world is eagerly anticipating this fight, and with the latest drama between these two things have heated up, thus making for an entertaining clash. But what do you think? And subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell for the latest notifications so that you never miss out on videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.